Good morning. Welcome to On the Chain. It's great to see everybody here. This is Jeff, and we are going to have an awesome conversation today. Why? Because today we are going to go through some really interesting things that are happening in the space as of just the past couple days. But the one thing that is being highlighted right now, right, is that if Bitcoin can go to 1 million, if Ethereum can go to 100,000, which a very astute analyst, financial analyst, has referenced, then what about XRP? What about the rest of the crypto space? Does that mean that XRP also then scales? Does it go to 100? Does it go to 1,000? Does it go to 10? Where does XRP go if Bitcoin is going to 1 million and Ethereum is going to 100,000? We're going to talk a little bit about that, but there's so many other things that are going on, including a brand new project coming out of Jack Dorsey and Square. So we got to get into what that's all about. Might even reference the thing that we've been talking about for the past couple of days, the DAO, the Constitution. DAO, they lost their bid. And that was kind of crazy. So anyhow, if you guys are ready, I am ready to kick this thing off. Thumbs up if you got audio. That's one for you, Chip. All right, I'm ready to go. You guys ready to go? Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
So if you haven't done so already, make sure you run out, get your best cup of espresso. Today, as usual, I'm going with a Segfredo. Haven't veered too much outside of the Segfredo land lately, but man, it's good. Good stuff. I even got one of those mocha pots. I got an electric one for the office, which is just really, really cool. So, all right, where do we stand? Where are we right now? Let's see. All right, very cool. So, well, one place that I want to start here is actually a tweet from John Deaton. And I think if we're going to dive in, let's dive in. What does Chip say? Let's dive in. Dive in. Let's dive into the shallow end, head first, or let's dive head first into the shallow end. And that's where we're going to go. We're going to start straight off the bat with a tweet from John Deaton. And if you guys don't know who John Deaton is, then you might want to research a little bit. But he is the attorney that's leading the lawsuit against who? Leading the lawsuit against the SEC. Now, here you have, and I find it interesting, right? And this is brand new tweet as of yesterday. But in July, guess who Daddy G met with? Daddy G met with the head of UK's FCA and also met with FINMA. Now, what John Deaton was asking here, he said, I wonder if crypto and XRP were discussed. Why? Because both entities recognize and or have declared XRP as a non-security. Which entities are we referencing? We're talking about FINMA in the UK, and we are talking about the FCA. If you need a breakdown of those acronyms, we can get those here in a minute. So, and someone might throw them out and say, hey, here's exactly what that reference is. Now, if we bring it up, let's see if we can actually, sometimes it opens, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. So we look at, let's see, his day. We've got meeting with Markin Amstead, chair of Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority, which is FINMA, right? Financial Market Supervisory Authority. And then we also have a, let's see, got his closed commission meeting. Look at all these meetings with staff. It's like all day long, meeting with staff, 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 phone call with job candidate. This is quite the itinerary right there. So busy day, a lot of meetings with staff. So we got over here. What else we got here? Okay, so we've got, oh, look at this. Meeting with the Financial Stability Board, the FSB. And here you got meeting with Paolo Savona, President, Commission Nacional per la Società e la Borsa. What is that? Probably in Brazil, right? So that's the Borsa, is probably the stock exchange. Here you've got meeting with Sandra Thompson, Acting Director, Federal Housing Finance Agency. So you got all sorts of things going on here. Oh, here we go. Now we got July 2nd meeting with Nico Roth, the Chief Executive, UK Financial Conduct Authority. So the FCA, there you go, the Financial Conduct Authority. How do you like that? All right. Then he gets to meet with the Bank of England, the Governor Andrew Bailey, and then meeting with staff, meeting with staff, meeting with staff, meeting with staff, meeting with commissioner, not commissioners, but commissioner. And there you have it. There was his day in review. Couple meetings, lots of meetings with staff, meeting who knows what's going on in the meeting, maybe nothing, maybe something, who knows. So, but I thought that that was, kind of poignant, because what is John pointing out here? John is pointing out and referencing that, does the conversation of digital asset come up, especially in reference to what they're meeting about, what's their topic, what are they referencing? We obviously know that there was a major lawsuit going on between the SEC and Ripple. We also know where the UK stands in reference to. So here you go. And if you don't, here's a good reference. The FCA has declared XRP a hybrid token, acting as both a utility token and exchange token, right? So Signum Bank, the first crypto bank licensed by FINMA, announced on April 30th. So this is a little while ago, that Ripple's XRP tokens are now available through its banking service platform. Now, one of the things that we reference is how far behind the times the SEC is falling, how far behind the US is now falling. And in order to scale back in the right direction, in order to, maintain the right momentum, wouldn't you think that we need a little bit of clarity from our regulatory bodies, mainly right now the SEC? But you don't have to go far to say, hey, maybe there's a model out there. Maybe if there's a model, then we can actually follow it. And the fact is, there are a couple models out there where there's some regulatory clarity, not just for XRP, but for the digital asset space as a whole, right? So here, can you or someone present these facts in the current case? And what does John say? Yes, it has been and will be referenced for the court. I don't know who should be more angered and frustrated by the SEC, U.S. citizens because it's part of our government, or international XRP holders who have been negatively impacted by an agency that has no jurisdiction in their land. How do you like that? I mean, that's, hey, Annalise, what is up? We are live. We're live. It's awesome. So XRP Archive says, are you going to hold XRP if it goes to $5? Jeremy Hogan with some commentary. I'm looking to set my law firm up to accept payment in crypto. Any recommendations for the best, easiest platform to use? Thanks in advance. Have a great weekend. These are obviously outside of the replies there. These are just additional tweets, but I like, I like the thought process there, So, really interesting. So he wants to really figure out, how can you start taking advantage of and helping people in the space with digital asset. And Jeremy Hogan, who many of you probably already know, an attorney doing exactly that. So let's look here. Let's open this one up. And if you guys can do us a favor, I don't know what's happening. Obviously, you guys know what happened in the beginning of the week. We had, beginning of the week, YouTube actually deleted our channel. We had the channel resurrected, brought back from the ashes because of their error. They have now been putting some sort of a restraint on our channel expansion, our channel growth. It's I don't know if they put some sort of a governor on it. I don't know what's going on, but it's crazy how, getting the reminders out, things just aren't going out. I did not get my notification this morning that we were going live. Now the thing is, I actually set this whole thing up way early. And so the reminders should have gone out, the notifications, they have not gone out. So if you guys can throw out a tweet, that would be great. But this goes back again to the algorithms of YouTube. Unfortunately, they continuously try to, impact the crypto space and try to silence people in the crypto space. And yet they'll say it's accidental. then you have to file for an appeal. But it's obviously still going on because no notifications for this morning went out. And that means that it's very difficult for people to find it. So if you guys want to take a moment and tweet it out, that'd be awesome. Um, so Anders is saying, I bet he was begging them to change their stance on XRP since he was saying not probably promoting ETH. And here we have RP was saying, and also on the 3rd of June, meeting with Andrew Bailey, governor of Bank of England, which we also saw. So, it's really interesting to see, exactly, what's going on in the space. It's interesting to see, some of the things that the SEC is doing or not doing. Really unfortunate and detrimental, and has having a negative impact on people all over the world. Because one thing that we know is that the lawsuit, SEC v. Ripple, if it was just that in a vacuum, the price point of XRP may or may not have been impacted. Most likely not have. However, the way they phrased the lawsuit, they said that they were selling an unregistered security, and then they highlighted XRP, all XRP, as being an unregistered security. So had they spun it a little bit differently, then the outcome would have been different. So the SEC lumped in XRP as the security without any wiggle room around it, which they didn't do for Ethereum, because it basically gave Ethereum a pass temporarily, at least for now. Same thing with Bitcoin. We know exactly what the outcome of the Kick and Kin case was in terms of that asset. They found them, said you were selling Kin as an unregistered security. You need to pay a $5 million fine, and it was over. And then there was no clarity, though, in the outcome of that case. Zero clarity for the Kin token, for the retail holders. Now, the one thing that is different in this case in the SEC, this is a very high-profile case. This isn't just any company. This was number 3 as far as market cap in crypto. It is one of the larger companies in the space. It's one of the more well-known in terms of the top groups: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. People know it. It's referenced. It's talked about. But it's Ripple that the SEC has a crosshair on. And obviously, it's Ripple that is a brick and mortar entity where they can actually file a strong suit against them. Why? Because it's much more far-reaching than just, hey, it's Ripple and XRP in the crypto space. A lot of the significance is boiling back to the brick and mortar banking institutions. If you think about, where Daddy G came from, think about, who the SEC is really orchestrating to support. But what is the case really all about? Because we know that Ripple, with the RippleNet software solution and their on-demand liquidity, the ODL, their objective was to take on Swift and to displace Swift. So now if they're going to take on an entity that has over 10,000 bank institutions involved in this cooperative called Swift that was established back in 1974, think about all these years that Swift has been in the driver's seat. Think about, from a government perspective, right? They look at Swift and get this understanding of how they control, how they can kind of regulate. If there's sanctions, it's easier to put a little bit of a cap on bank flow to sanction nations. You pick up the phone, make a call, Swift shuts down the communication portals. So if that's the case, if they're able to shut down communication portals that easily, you would think the same would be true with Ripple and RippleNet. They come to RippleNet and say, hey, we have a sanction, a global sanction on said country. You need to shut down the rails between that country and everybody else. They can obviously do it. It's a software-based company. Now, if you go fully into a decentralized framework, fully into some structure of the DAO, and you go into all these different things that people are looking to orchestrate outside of brick and mortars, and then it becomes governed by the validators 100% in terms of the ebb and flow of the practice of that, or of the access, I should say, to that software platform. That changes the entire dynamic of the conversation. So right now, though, with RippleNet, why is it that the SEC is putting this big crosshair on the back of Ripple. And why are they then also in the same breath and the same lawsuit attacking XRP holders? Why would they come after XRP holders? Why would they make certain statements that XRP holders aren't smart enough to understand the technology? I mean, it's mind numbing to see some of the insulting, derogatory statements that have come out against the XRP community. Now, John Deaton is here he's representing the XRP community against the SEC, because one of the things that John Deaton said here is really about, who should be more upset right now? Is it the U.S., where we know that we have a representative that does not represent, we have an agency that is not representing the interests, right? They're not representing the interests of the U.S. body as a whole, because of the SEC is more concerned about corporate interest. If they're going to then attack, and we know just overall the way over the years how it's developed and evolved to a point where most of the rules and regulations to protect have actually prevented individuals from investing. And yes, some are higher risk, some are volatile investment pre-IPO. You have to be an accredited investor to invest certain things. Then you have to meet, in order to be an accredited investor, you have to meet certain criteria to invest in that investment. Now, the SEC orchestrates that. So if you somehow allow people to invest that don't meet that criteria, then you are in breach of SEC policy. And so then, that's it's crazy. So basically what they're saying is we are going to exclude individuals from having the same types of economic possibilities as people that meet a certain minimal economic threshold. And that minimal economic threshold starts when you have basically $1 million to your name. So you have to have $1 million. That's where it starts. That's where it starts. So at that point, if you can assess your value at $1 million, then that's one of the criteria. There's obviously more criteria to that, and so they're basically saying, "Oh, you have 500,000. Sorry, you can't participate." Oh, but by the way, if you want to start a business, you can start a business. You can start a restaurant. Oh, and by the way, that if at the government's whim they decide they want to put a cap on, on whether or not people can go to restaurants, we're going to put you out of business, and we don't care about it. We're going to close the doors, shutter the doors to your business, and you're still going to have to pay your rent. You're still going to have to pay your mortgage. You're still going to have to pay your employees, but you're taking a risk. That's your risk. You went into business, but you can go out of business just as easy, or start any business. Any business could be risky. So why not be able to invest? Why not say, hey, invest what you're not afraid to lose? Because if you invested in General Motors or GE or any of those big stocks throughout the past 10 or 15 years, you've known the ups and downs of the stock market. You saw General Motors filed for bankruptcy, was able to basically screw over a lot of holders. That it was amazing, right? So a lot of the pensioners there, it was protected. However, that stock, if you held on to GM stock, it had zero value, especially after the stock tanked, right? And that's at that point where they decided to dissolve their stock. They dissolved it. Then they were able to open up and come out with a brand new stock, just like that, through bankruptcy. And, and then you see GE stock that had tanked and then, came back again. And then GE does, a few weeks ago, whenever it was, they did an 8-for-1 reverse split. Now they're talking about splitting the company into 3. So if you don't think that investing in stock can also come with a lot of risk, then, come on. But, long-term hold, you're going to be more on a positive side, but you never know. You never know what direction your investments are going to take. And it's the same thing with the digital asset space. Same thing pre-IPO. Why not? If you can do your own research and you understand it, why do you need to be an accredited investor? That's just one little element. Now, as far as what the SEC is doing in the crypto space, and we know that it is so insincere. We see what's happening. We see what's happening at the central bank level around the world right now. And it's truly a travesty. It really is a travesty, But look at what John Deaton is saying. He said, it's been and will be referenced for the court. As he said, I don't know who should be more angered and frustrated by the SEC, U.S. citizens, because it's part of our government, or international XRP holders who have been negatively impacted. So it's people have been impacted across the board, everywhere, all over the world. People have been impacted by this take of how the SEC filed suit. And there you go, right? And that's it. I mean, it's crazy. So, I mean, it's really, really devastating. So here we go. Check out the king over here. Hey there, Jeff. Glad I caught the show. XRP Army over in Australia. How great is that? Now, if you guys haven't done so already, help us out. Throw this out on Twitter. If you're brand new here, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notifier. We actually have a little bit of a cool sliding graphic, but you can't see it if I have the comment up. Let's take off the comment. Now check this out. Here we go. You guys have seen it before, but you guys know what the subscribe button looks like. It's red, the bell notifier. Normally you hit the bell notifier and that should notify you every time we go live, every time we post a video. And you know what? I got neither. I didn't get the notification. Didn't go out. Didn't happen. So, and I was looking back at our new subscriptions, and it doesn't make any sense. So we know that something is happening at the YouTube level. Now, when they reinstated our channel after they incorrectly pulled us down, all of a sudden, a whole bunch of subs were added as soon as it went live. Like, it was just instant, And so I'm like, so we're looking at it and say, well, where did these subs go before? Why is it now that you reinstated, they all of a sudden popped in, and now we can see there's a little bit of a governor back on the channel again. It's unreal. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Where did they get off here? So, all right, let's look at, there's some good comments here because, let's see, I can't, El Jefe, Chip, I didn't get the notification either. There you go. No notification. I got the notification, but it was only, see, normally that's when it should be. There should be a notification that goes out if you hit the bell notifier 30 minutes before the show, 20, 30 minutes. That's the one that goes out. I didn't get mine. So that means that a vast majority of the people didn't get their notification. Chip didn't get his either. So there you go. So some people get it, some people don't. But if you hit the bell notifier, you should get it about 20, 30 minutes ahead of time. So we got forces coming in from Amsterdam. So welcome. Great place over there, over in Amsterdam. If you guys haven't visited, go check it out. Really cool place. Someone put a comment. Here's Johnny Crypto saying the accredited thing is to keep people down. There's nothing about it intended to lift people up. That's a great point. There's nothing there that's actually helping to lift people up at all. It just, it is what it is, unfortunately. So check this out. We've got Canis Lupus. Wrong comment. Sorry. Let's see. Here we go. El Jefe was saying, Jeff, this social spending bill passes, we're all screwed. And now it passed the Congress. It's on its way back to the Senate. Now, there are some new bills. We talked about them briefly the other day. There are some new bills that are being presented in front of Congress in order to undo what they've done. And so that is really, really poignant because, if we look at and I'm trying to see if I can find it here to pull this up again. Here we go. Let me pull this one up because we talked about this a little bit yesterday, Chip and I. So they have this social spending. Obviously, there's a lot more to reference in terms of where that spending is going to go, how it's going to impact us economically, right? But from a crypto perspective, we've got, some interesting developments. So obviously, we know exactly what's going on over in crypto land with the SEC. However, what we do have here is Patrick McHenry introduced a new bill to the House Ways and Means Committee. Now, this new bill is basically to override the crypto legislation that they crammed in. This is just one of them. There's a couple that are being presented, but this one is one of them, crammed in to basically, impact the way crypto is handled from a taxation perspective, how it has to be reported, who has to report, who's considered to be a broker. They've broken all records. It's amazing what we see, what's going on right now from a U.S. political perspective. They've broken all records to the negative. All sorts of insanity comes out of there. But when they crammed crypto legislation into this quasi infrastructure bill, then we also know that there are many, many issues with it. So now we have, fortunately, there's a lot of, there are a good handful of pro crypto representatives sitting in Congress and in the Senate, because we saw Cynthia Loomis go after the new or the nominee for the comptroller of the currency, Amarova. And we know and we see the detrimental impact that someone like her could have on the U.S. economy, more than what we're already witnessing right now. I mean, it's going to be more. The inflation that we're seeing now is nothing compared to what we're going to see going forward a year, into another year. But at the same time, the glimmer of hope is 2022, because we know in 2022 the House and the Senate will turn. It's inevitable at this point. It's going to turn, and it's going to set things back in the direction of positive economic gain for the people. We have to focus on what's best for the U.S. and decrease this out of control, rampant inflation that is going to impact the United States. Now, one thing that is certain, and this is where all of these pieces become connected back into each other, is because, when we look at crypto as a safe haven from inflation. Now, the one thing we can look at is fiat currency is an inflationary currency that decreases in value exponentially over time. Now, that's a given fact, right? Because what your dollar could buy a couple of years ago, you cannot buy today. Yes, the price of gas has increased, but has it increased because of supply and demand, or is it increased because of decrease of supply, pressure that, shutting down pipelines in the U.S., or, is your dollar just less valuable? How is it that the price of a car is now the same value as what you could buy an average home for not that long ago? So if your average vehicle cost is now 30, 40, or $50,000, and yet you could used to buy a house for 30, 40, or $50,000, then you have a major issue. Your dollar isn't going as far. Now, if the cost of milk used to be $1.50 or $1.99 to whatever the cost of a gallon of milk was, and now it's $5, your dollar is worth less than it was a year ago. And the thing is that your crypto is actually worth more than what it was a year ago to the US dollar. Now, based on the legislation that was crammed in, they want to identify too many people as a broker. So, if you have to now if you're running a node and you have transactions flowing through your node, or you're a miner mining an asset, and all of a sudden you're declared, because of those transactions, you're declared a broker, and you need to collect KYC, know your customer information, on these people, and AML, anti-money laundering. It's impossible. It's impossible to help or to happen. It's impossible, right? So there's some code, and this is interesting too, because if we look at what HR 6006 is doing, it wants to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986. Now, one of the bills that we reference over and over and over again is the Token Taxonomy Act. Now, the Token Taxonomy Act was introduced by Warren Davidson. You can go back, look at our interviews. We interviewed Congressman Warren Davidson. He was here with us on the chain, and Warren Davidson was the architect and orchestrator of the Token Taxonomy Act, along with Darren Soto. And when we click this co-sponsors tab, you'll see Darren Soto and Warren Davidson as co-sponsors of this bill. Now, this is a very bipartisan bill, meaning that we have Democrat and Republican that are supportive of making sure that they protect the interest of the crypto space. Right now, in the Token Taxonomy Act, one of the things that they sought to amend was the Internal Revenue Code of 1986. Now, they have to take it a step further, because now they have to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to also clarify the definition of broker. So there's so many things that are broken. And you know why they crammed the crypto legislation in? It's because those in the Senate that crammed it in have zero understanding of crypto, zero understanding of blockchain, zero understanding of anything other than their greed and the dollar signs in their eyes when they see that this space is booming, right? They know that the crypto space is booming. It has been. And if you look at the scale of the crypto space in the past decade, in 1 decade, right? 10 years, 11 years at this point, if you see the scale of where it grew from 0 to $3 trillion, or on track, it might be at 3 trillion. We'll have to pull up the market cap. It's going to fluctuate. But anyhow, 0 to where we are today is intense, massive scale of the space. Bitcoin from basically 0 to 60, 70,000. XRP from basically 0. Why? Because in the early days, even XRP, right? As much as everyone's focusing, oh my God, it's stuck at $1, it's stuck at $1.30, right? Not that long ago, XRP was sitting at what? XRP was sitting at 0.006. So if we want to look at this fact and say, hey, you know what? If in fact this market is scaling in 10-year segments, where are we going to go in the next 10 years? Now, do you think that the brick and mortars aren't terrified? Do you think that the central banks aren't terrified? Do you think that when Amarova was questioned by Cynthia Loomis, and we played it when she was questioned about blockchain and cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, she was panicking and said it was a national security issue because China considers it a national security issue. Those that want complete centralized control over the ebb and flow of your money, right? Not just the monetary system, but they want full control over your money. So if you look at the digitized yuan or the digitized US dollar or the digitized UK pound or the digitized Russian ruble or the digitized Indian rupee, whatever it is, right? Doesn't matter. But they will have and maintain 100% control, not over the supply and the ebb and flow from a government level, right? Or now the Fed and the central bank is in dominant position, not just in, hey, we can add money, we can remove money, but they will be in a dominant position to control the flow of your money, right? Your money. So the decentralized nature, right? Hummus. Well, actually, if you pronounce hummus right, I don't think it's lumus, right? Hummus. So it's hummus is how you wrote it. So it'd be lummus, not lumus, lummus, right? There we go. We got it down. Lummus. So, so there's so much going on in this space, right? We have to really identify and understand the direction of where we're going, right? And that's it. And so there's so much at stake right now. And the battle that's going on behind the scenes are the brick and mortars that want full control. Now, one of the things that Amarova said when she was being questioned is that she wants to do away with private banking and she wants to institute all public banking. Now, that is a major move in the direction of socialist agenda, where the government has full control, full 100% control over the ebb and flow of your money, right? And that's it. That's it. So now we have to go back and say, okay, no, we understand exactly what's happening. We understand right now, why is it that the central bank is so keen on dismantling everything, right? Why are they so keen on dismantling? And so now, in order to offset, we need people that are going to protect, and that's what's important, right? And that's what's going to be critical. So in order to protect the other side, you need to have representation that's going to protect your interest, right? So fortunately, we have John Deaton that's going after. The SEC because of their overstep, right? Way overstep. Now, over here, you have HR 6006, which is going to amend the Internal Revenue. Now, it's not changing, it's amending. And what are they amending? They need to clarify a definition. Why? Because one of the things that we see is a battle for terminology, a battle of he who gets to define the terminology that's utilized wins. So what are one of the things that Gary Gensler is trying to do? Gary Gensler, Daddy G, is trying to restructure terminology, just like our buddy Dr. F. You know Dr. F, right? And when he gets up in front of everybody, in front of the country, and he's talking about uh, you know the I don't want to, I don't want to get into all the words and get flagged even further by YT over here. But one of the things that as they're restructuring certain viral components and resequencing those viral components and adding to them, it is definitely detrimental, right? But what did he do? What did Dr. F do? F starts with an F, ends with an I, with an AUC in the middle. So what did he do? He restructured the terminology that is being used on the website, right? On their website, they removed certain terminology and they're trying to reassess. And when he's getting questioned, all of a sudden he said, oh, no, it's vague. It's whatever. So he's restructuring terminology to protect his own ass and his own asset. But now it's the same thing on this side with the SEC. So Daddy G talking about stable value coins, or in the lawsuit SEC v. Ripple, they specifically reference XRP as a security token, right? Because they're trying to place the terminology in the direction of what they want the outcome to be. So they want to be the writers of history. So if they can become the writers of history, then everything falls in line with what their envisioned outcome is. Now here in this scenario, we're looking over here and we have, again, all they want to do is amend one little thing. They want to amend the definition of broker. Why? Because in the crypto legislation that was crammed in to the infrastructure bill, they reference broker. Now, who's a broker? We don't know. That's because you got to clarify the definition of the broker. And this is exactly what they're trying to do in HR 6006, right? And what it's really amazing. It's really awesome. I don't even know if the text is up yet. Let's see if they put the text here yet. They haven't even put the text. That's how new it is. It was just introduced on the 17th. So they don't even have all the information in here yet. It was just introduced. This is fresh legislation, fresh, brand new, right out of the package, right? The ink is still drying on this legislation. Now the question is, it got to the House and Means. Now, does it go from the House and Means? Does it get voted on? While it's sitting in the House of Means. One thing we know is the token taxonomy fell into the Financial Services Committee, fell into the lap of Maxine Waters. What did she do with it? Nothing. 3 times. 0. Nothing. Why? Because follow the money. That's all you got to say. Who is pulling the purse strings? That's it. Who holds the purse strings? But look at this point, who do we have here? Who's signed on? And they got one more representative signed on the 18th, signed on yesterday. This was this is brand new, fresh legislation that we kind of referenced on Thursday, but it's brand new, right? So we've got on the 17th over here, we've got Rep. Ryan out of Ohio. He's a Democrat, right? Then we've got Brady, a Republican out of Texas. We got Kana out of California, a Democrat. Tom Emmer, who, by the way, we've got 124 people with us this morning. Tom Emmer will be with us on Monday. We've got to get that set up, got to get that calendar invite solidified here. But Tom Emmer will be with us on Monday evening, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be awesome. And then we've got Swalwell out of California, Democrat. We've got Warren Davidson, who we've already had here on the chain with us, and the author of the Token Taxonomy Act, Republican. We've got Darren Soto, also a signatory co-sponsor on the co-sponsor of the Token Taxonomy Act. Then we've got Anthony Gonzalez out of Ohio, Republican. Ted Budd, Republican. Mike Bost, also a Republican. out of Illinois. So we've got a lot of great people coming together to orchestrate this. This is so key, right? And so look at this. Look at the representation: Ohio, California, Florida, Illinois, Minnesota, North Carolina, and Texas. It's awesome. So far, 6 Republicans, 4 Democrats. These 4 Democrats are the 4 outspoken pro crypto Democrats currently in Congress. And it's so key. It's so key to see the direction this is going in. Now, the question is, it gets to the House Ways and Means Committee, right? And now the question is, what happens? What happens now? Because this is critical legislation. This isn't legislation we can sit on. Right now, that we know for a fact that the legislation that was crammed into that bill is counterproductive. It's counterproductive to the innovation of this space. We know that Amarova, who's being nominated for the comptroller of the currency, is detrimental to the innovation and the financial growth of the U.S. We know it. We know that Elizabeth Warren, who is very outspoken and a buddy of Daddy G, we know that her ideas are extremely detrimental to the growth of the crypto space. We know it. It's a fact. We've seen it. We know she doesn't understand it. We know that, she's approaching things from a very negative perspective. However, all that being said, we see that the mayor of Tampa is very pro crypto. We see that the mayor of Miami is extremely pro crypto. What's going on over in Miami? We have a new, then we have a new mayor that's going to be coming into New York that has become outspoken in the crypto space. So time will tell. He needs to put his money where his mouth is. So let him talk a big talk. Let's see. First, he needs to stabilize the insanity going on in New York City after too many years under the current mayor of New York City that has demoralized New York City from more ways than one, that's causing massive amounts of money to leave New York City. But now, is there a way to bring it back in? And so, there's a lot at stake, a lot of things on the table right now. But hey, we've got 126 people with us on this bright and early, beautiful Saturday morning. You guys want to give you guys all a quick shout out. If you haven't done so already, you're brand new here, hit the red subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell notifier. You guys know what to do. That definitely helps out. And also go check out, if you haven't done so already, and you say, hey, you know what, I want to go back and watch or listen to some previous on the chain content. Now, you don't have to do much. You just have to go into onthechain.io, right? So you go to onthechain.io, and how awesome is it, right? Look at this great website. You go to the website. We're going to be putting a blog up here pretty soon, and the blog is going to have a lot of the legislative content. You'll see different representatives up there. You'll see some of the updates on legislation. There'll be some other good content podcast wise, but check this out. If you click on interviews, you can go down and say, I wonder who's been on the chain. Yeah, I wonder, some of the people that have come to visit on the chain lately. And I want to go back and get some reference of, some of the people that are here with us on the chain. Look at this. Look, it's like a who's who in the crypto space. You just have to go down. You kind of look through. You guys will recognize, a lot of these names. Give a big shout out. There's Congressman Warren Davidson. That was back in May. I can't believe that it was in May already. Go check that out. If you want to hear some really great thought, and you guys know Celsius, go check out the videos that we did with Alex Mashinsky. That guy understands and knows what's going on the space. Now, we had Crypto Eddie. Wow, it was March. We got to get her back on. She's also very, very astute in the space. Mickey B. Fresh. We're talking about Flare. John Deaton's been with us a lot. Obviously, we've got to get John Deaton back on to give us some updates. By the ex-CEO of Binance, we had Alex Mission. This is credit to us, and credit to them and credit to you guys, because it's this space, it's the on the chain community that is attracting some of these top names in the space over and over and over again, right? Because they love coming back. They love hearing some of the amazing things that we're talking about here in the space. Now, then you can go back and check out check out the podcast. You can go through and you can say, hey, what was this one about? Yeah, I think I missed it. Well, you know what? You can go on and listen to it. You can find the podcast. You can watch it. Normally, there's an image link, but there's something wrong on the back end that they're fixing. Then you can go down and say, wow, I wonder, some of the articles where, let's look at the articles that these guys have been talking about. Where are they getting the information that, that they're referencing in all of this? And there you go. You can go back in here and check it out. And there's a subscription format also. All sorts of really, really, cool things that are going on with the website. Just wanted to throw that in there, give a quick shout out to our website. And then you guys know when we stream and all that good stuff as well. That is the tennis coach calling. So we'll have to see what he says here in about 10 minutes or so. All right. So let's move on. Spent a lot of time kind of talking about those things. I want to, you know what? I have the wrong keep file up. Pulling up incorrect information. I do want to get into just real quick. Now, forget about like all the negative stuff that goes on. Things are going to happen, right? There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, but the idea and the direction that the crypto space is moving in, right? We're constantly seeing positive momentum in the space, positive developments in this space. Now, think about Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy. He's got over $6 billion right now in Bitcoin. Right? You have El Salvador adopting Bitcoin as a currency. Forget about Amarova. Forget about the Fed. Forget about the central banks. Forget about China. Forget about Russia. Forget about all of this stuff that's going on. Why? Because some of the biggest players in the space, they're not concerned about it. And they are continuously pushing forward with positive development. So check this out, right? So Square, who is run by Jack Dorsey, right, from Twitter. But check this out. We have they just introduced a white paper for a decentralized Bitcoin exchange. Right here, you can buy Bitcoin on the Cash App run by Square. But what if you could swap it via a decentralized exchange built by Square? Right. So now they're talking about, hey, let's check this out. Let's create a decentralized exchange to where you can go on, get Bitcoin or other assets. Look at this. It was first announced in July, but they actually rolled out their white paper yesterday. How amazing is that? The white paper just rolls out, good stuff here. A lot of great things going on. But look at this. The white paper claims that TBDEX is a protocol for discovering liquidity and exchanging assets such as Bitcoin, fiat money, or real-world goods safely without knowing the identity of the other parties. This is good. It's interesting, the movement, the direction. Now, think about why would this? Yes, I kind of agree, but it's XRP panic. Yes, I agree with that. But all of this stuff going on, is it's positive. Why? Because they're building in the space. They're continuing to build in the space. It's really, really good. So the tennis coach will say tennis is canceled due to rain. That's exactly what happened, Chip. That's exactly what happened. Courts are wet. Not sure if they'll dry. So there you go. That's the exact message that has come through. You are very clairvoyant, Chip. It wasn't raining earlier, so I don't know. But it's dry on this side of town. But maybe not. Not over there anyways. So anyhow, so we know. So that's the direction. That's some of the stuff going on with Square, which is exciting, at least to see, movement, and there's some building going on in the space. And then with that, here's another exchange, Gemini. Everybody knows Gemini. Now, the question is, are there certain players out there that are trying to pick? Are they trying to choose winners from losers? And that's the biggest question. I don't know if they're trying to pick winners from losers. But if you see, the government's kind of leaning their impression in one direction, or the central banks leaning in a direction, but here's an exchange They have a $7.1 billion valuation after they received their first round of outside funding. Now, this is Gemini. Now, they got 400, they just got a $400 million investment funding, run, check it out, right? By who? By Morgan Creek Digital, right? And then all these other guys. Look at all these companies that have now invested in Gemini. Morgan Creek Capital. Oh no, sorry. Led by cryptocurrency hedge fund Morgan Creek Digital. Yeah, I'm right. Whatever. All right. Investors include 10T, Parify, New Flow Partners, Marcy Venture Partners, and the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. Always seems to be on the forefront here. I don't know what's up with that. Australia is doing amazing things in the crypto space lately. Not on the forefront, freedom-wise, from a political perspective. I think they're on the back front. They're playing on the back nine somewhere, politically speaking, but economically speaking, they're on the front nine. Here, until this financing round, Cameron and Tyler, who co-founded Gemini, had completely funded through their family office, Winklevoss Capital, now valued at $7.1 billion. Imagine that. Now, would all these companies say, hey, we're going to continue to invest in these exchanges knowing that things are moving in the wrong direction? No, that's not it. Jim D is saying Gemini seems to be finally getting out of their old Bitcoin parochialism of its. I agree 100%. Yeah, I think they're finally spreading out a little bit. I think they're getting it. So El Jefe coming up to Michigan. There you go. Snow in Michigan. Now, what part of Michigan are you in over there? I come up to Detroit pretty often. So anyhow, let's see. Heading back to Punta Gorda. Nice. Punta Gorda is a good place to be. Nice and warm versus the snow up in Michigan. Little detrimental. So, all right. So check this one out too. This is kind of cool. Now, oh no, this isn't cool. We don't want to look at that one. Let's go to, no, skipping a bunch of stuff here. Oh, here we go. Now, this to me says, things are developing. Things are moving. Now, if we look at, what is kind of the natural progression in the space, right? The natural progression of the space, people get into Bitcoin, then they get into Ethereum, and then they start getting into other asset classes or other assets within the digital asset space. Now, I find this interesting because we've seen, some of the bigger corporations putting their money into Bitcoin, right? Michael Saylor with MicroStrategy, a big one, because now he holds, I don't know what it's valued at. It's definitely over $6 billion right now. We know Tesla's got some big holdings. Well, Time Magazine, I didn't even know they were still around, honestly. I thought it went away years ago. I don't even know if anyone still buys it, but apparently Time Magazine is still around. But I think they realize their only salvation of staying around is by holding Ethereum on their balance sheet. So it looks like Time Magazine will be holding Ethereum on their balance sheet as part of a new deal. So they're not going to, so this is the Ethereum new deal. It's not to be confused with the other new deal that they talk about with that color green. Not that one. This one is the Ethereum new deal. No. So Time Magazine has sealed a new deal that will see the media giant hold Ethereum on its balance sheet. So again, what direction are we moving in? Are we going to have detrimental, but some of these bigger guys, and you also want this accumulation phase, are they trying to prevent, once again, retail from accumulation? Do they want to make crypto more exclusive in nature and force you to meet certain standard to hold certain crypto? Do they want to penalize those that are innovating and building in the space? I don't know. But anyhow, So the deal marks another times foray into cryptocurrency. It's one of the leading voices in the media publishing space, or at least it was. I don't know if it still is. Is it? Is it still a leading voice? I have no idea. It just doesn't seem like it is. But they have a new partnership with Galaxy Digital. Let's see. Although not the first time Time Magazine will be adding crypto to its balance sheet, it'll be the first time it'll be adding Ethereum. In a previous deal with Grayscale, the media giant had added Bitcoin too. So they're moving, right? They're making progress. They went Bitcoin, now Ethereum, and now what? All right. So this was actually in April. So this was done in April, and Time has been holding on to the crypto since. So since April. This time, attention is turned on Ethereum as it seals its deal with Galaxy Digital. So lots of things going on. So wait, oh no, I don't know the way they write this. I guess they added Bitcoin back in April, and now they're going to add Ethereum, or they're adding Ethereum. God, it's so confusing the way they write this. Time's deal with Galaxy Digital comes with commitments that are required by both. Galaxy Digital will be provide the funding. Yeah, that's probably because Time doesn't have any money left. I don't know. I don't think anybody actually buys their magazine. I'd have to look it up. It's crazy. So let's see. It has the list, like 100 most influential people, 100 most influential companies. They always put some, whatever. So Time will also issue a weekly newsletter titled Into the Metaverse. I think they're trying to make themselves a little more relevant. They want to promote the metaverse space that is found. So I think Time Magazine is hoping to solidify themselves into the metaverse as a player in the space. I don't know. So it's being paid for 100% by Galaxy Digital, and it's being financed completely, right, in Ethereum. I think that's really key, right? It will run for 6 months, and the newsletter will mainly be an educational one, providing information on the rapidly growing metaverse. So it's kind of a play. They're trying to get involved, but they're still holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Now they're going to have Ethereum on their balance sheet. And then we'll see, this page will be unveiled in December. The media giant will leverage its new partners' expertise in the metaverse. They're going to create education. They're just trying to solidify themselves. I guess Time still has some recognition, but Time knows that it's going away. It's going the direction of the dodo bird. It's going to be gone. But here over the next decade, the metaverse will become an increasingly important part of the world economy, right? Time knows that Time will pretty much be done for if they don't do something. I'm not bashing on Time. I'm just going into this idea that I think it's a positive move, with what we're seeing. We see them getting into the Ethereum space. I think that's a net positive. Things are definitely migrating to the right direction here. So, so this is good. So now we let's see, push the time back. Sure. There we go. It looks like due to the rain, looks like we can push the time back. How do you like that? So anyhow, let's see where we're at. Where are we? El Jefe. El Jefe comes out with a huge support. Appreciate you. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. I guess we're kind of at that point too. We are at that point. Jim D says, I've been generating new custom vanity Bitcoin public keys with fun messages like one ban SEC, and the address prefix takes weeks of GPO processing to compute, but worth the forever ledger graffiti. That's awesome. Man, Hector, the dude, is with us today. What's up, Hector? Good to see you on. Good to have you here. No, Constitution DAO lost to which is they did not win. So they actually lost. Constitution DAO lost to somebody pull it up. I had it here. I don't have it up. I must have closed the tab, but it was one. They were beat out in their bid. Let me throw it in here. Let's see. Constitution. Hang on. Constitution bid. Dow. So they lost the bid. It was won by. So check this out. So they raised 47 million to buy it. Now the question is, what happens with the money? So let's just end on this note. But the crypto investors, they raised 47 million. They lost their bid. Here's where the money goes now. So the consortium, 47 million worth of ether. They were trying to buy a rare edition. They lost to. Check out who they lost to. Where is it? Why don't they say who they lost to in this one? Anyhow, so there's a lot of cash. They raised a ton of money. For sure, provide everyone an option for a refund. Went on to say there are many people who have already said they want to leave their funds in the wallet. We're deciding between several options internally for the scenario. But a big fund actually beat them for like 43 million. I think their bid was like 41 million, even though they raised 47. I don't understand why they didn't come out, with a full amount. Why doesn't it say in this one? This is the fastest one I could bring up. But anyhow, so they did lose their bid. But with that, anyhow, you guys, here's our website. You guys know when we stream, right? We do stream 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's it. Oh, Kenny G won. Nice. Kenny G. All right. Well, it's hard to watch everything at once. But anyhow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back tomorrow with another great show. Go check it out. Check out onthechain.io, and Citadel CEO Ken Griffin is the one who outbid. Ken Griffin is the guy. He's the man. He's the legend. He now owns a copy of the Constitution. With that, looking forward to seeing you guys back here Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until at that moment in time, have a great weekend. We'll check you out on the next one. I'm out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.